Okay, good morning, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us today, and welcome to the Zone 4114 October 2017 Sales Triple Play. Just thought I'd put a catchy little name on this, but as you know, it's about following up on the monthly incentives and trying to take some assertive, proactive action to maybe increase some floor traffic. Okay, so quick preview. I'm going to do a real quick bada bing style review of Playbook, just for those of you who may not be that familiar. I'm going to look at some strategies to get the right customers into your store based on the incentives we learned about yesterday. Very quickly, a few thoughts on campaign development that I've learned in my travels around your dealerships. A few public service announcements, and then Q&A session. If you can hold your questions to the end, great. I'll keep my eye on chat too if somebody has something pretty urgent. I've muted everybody, but if you hit the chat, if there's something urgent, I can, pop the unmute there. And it's being recorded, so you'll be held accountable to anything you say in a court of law. All right, I always talk about the swim lanes. When I think of business development work, whether you have the formal business development center or not, and this applies to both sales and service. Generally speaking, I think you can view BDC work first from inbound traffic and leads. People walking through your door, hitting your website, calling to your website, etc. And then we, of course, follow up on unsold traffic. So that's lane number one. Then those GM manifests, which are vitally important. I know sometimes there's so much to sort through there, but they're invaluable, no doubt about it, when properly managed. And then finally, self-generated outbound campaigns, kind of the enhancer, the icing on the cake, if you will. But these are, these are opportunities that we have to create ourselves and work real hard at. So today, the swim lane focuses on building outbound campaigns to address those October 2017 incentives. So real quick, bada bing, we're going to go through Playbook again. Most of you, I'm looking down at the attendees. I've done a lot of work with a lot of you who are here, a few unfamiliar names. So just again, remember, this is being recorded. Plus, we have some job aids out there to help you with this, but just let's rock right through this. You log into Global Connect. You go to the apps department, you click on sales. Then you find CSSR, you click on that. Then you lay your cursor over my results, boom, you hit Playbook Reports. Then you go down to the second from the bottom to the right and open up CSV format Playbook Manifest. And then you click on the CSV option, the export option, that CSV export option. Open the CSV option, you'll get this banner, and then boom, you get your typical Excel spreadsheet right there. And then at that point, download it. File, save as, computer, put a name on it, and make sure you change it in that second, the save as type from CSV, comma delineated, to Excel workbook. Not sure about the specifics, but it does have something to do with the ability to manipulate the data. Okay, as you know, I like my quotes. We'll start out with the great philosopher Yogi Berra. If you don't know where you're going, you probably won't get there. All right, let's go with 3 strategies. Okay, actually going to be 4 strategies to get the right customers into your store based on incentives. We're going to look at 3 playbook strategies and 1 out-of-the-box strategy. So strategy number 1 has to do with likely buyers of vehicles with 20% off this month. So we'll just do a quick look at that. You got Fast Start, 20% off plus that 072. You got the 2017 Impala LT, the 2017 Sonic LS, and the 2017 Spark LS. The lead brand side of the house, we've got some nice opportunities there too. One second here. There we go. The 2017 Cruze, all models, the 2017 Malibu, and 2017 Trax. Okay, so that's strategy number 1. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how to walk through playbook to pull names to build a campaign to take this on. At each location, I'm going to state the obvious. You have to look at, obviously, your inventory, and you got to look at your staffing capability. Many of you have BDCs. Some of you have a one-person BDC. Some have multiple-person BDCs. Some of you distribute these opportunities out to the sales team. Some of you do a hybrid, a combination of both. So what I'm advocating is, pick and choose here. Obviously, it'd be great if you could take on all of those, but pick and choose based on your inventory and staffing. But that's a really great deal on the table. Strategy number 2. Again, use playbook data to target likely buyers of the 2018 equinox. Bill Fleck, I think, and maybe John Quinn together, maybe a few other people kind of put this stacked cash comparison together for the 18 equinox. It is obviously a fantastic vehicle. We're having good results with that, and now the opportunities, the incentives seem to be increasing with each month. In this case, you can see there's a total potential stack. Remember, potential is the key word there, of $5,750. So I'm advocating that we also build a campaign targeting likely buyers of the 2018 equinox. And the third strategy is to use playbook data to pump up the volume on truck month. And we'll just use this 17 Silverado light duty crew cab. As you can see right there, Bill and again John and maybe a few others put this together, and you can see total cash $7,500. Real nice deal. Okay, so now based on those 3 strategy opportunities, let's take a quick peek at playbook, kind of continue what I started earlier on how do we pull customers that might be likely buyers in these 3 cases. So the first strategy, as you know, we're targeting vehicles with 20 likely buyers of vehicles with 20% off. Second strategy, we're looking at the 2018 equinox. And the third strategy, take advantage of these great opportunities in truck month. So always begin by exporting and downloading your playbook data. I have a job aid that's out there. We use the left to right technique. Remember, when you first pull that CSV file and convert it to Excel, you have a huge, way wide Excel spreadsheet. First thing you got to do is whack out unnecessary columns, get it cleaned up, get it ready to go. And then what you do is you filter. What I'm going to suggest on this case right here, and you can do this across the board on all 3, go to the filter option, go 2014 older. You might go 15. Some of you with higher volumes and maybe minimal staffing, you might narrow a window, maybe 8 to 14, something like that. But I'm going to suggest 2014 and older. Okay, now you got to filter like models. So let's go through each of the strategies and look at what we're up against there. Okay, so strategy 1, vehicles with 20% off. As you know, I mentioned the Fast Start, the Impala LT, Sonic LS, Spark LS. These are all 17s. And then the lead brands, you got the Cruise, all Cruise models, Malibu all, and Trax all, again, 2017. Obviously, with strategy number 2, we're looking at likely buyers of the Equinox, the 2018 Equinox. And then strategy number 3, likely buyers of the Silverado and Colorado. So you know your business, you know who's out there. I mean, I had a guy looking at Uplander owners the other day, and why not? Why not give it a shot? Figure it out. But when you look to target, that Equinox, we got to, obviously go to prior Equinox owners, but you might think out of the box, and don't forget that household match. I would suggest in this case, filter all in-market categories. Just filter all 3 of those. Again, if the list is huge, way beyond your capabilities, you can maybe drop the in-market favoring competitor and layer back even to undecided. But initially, I would suggest taking a look at all folks in market at this point. And then what I do is leave all 3 follow-up priorities. As most of you know, there was a recent addition where we added A, B, and C priorities. A being ready to buy. Remember, Playbook is a predictive model for the next 0 to 6 months. Those 8 priorities, according to the data, should be ready to buy. They're the highest likelihood. B, moderate likelihood, and C, likely but not as likely as A and B, obviously. And then you might consider sorting by salesperson at that point. And as you can see, this dealership has brought in some really distinguished individuals to sell vehicles. Really good idea right there. Okay, and now the next thing is the thinking out of the box idea. Okay, there's right now with the additional October incentives, there's trade-in assistance that's going on from October 3rd to October 31st. It's $1,000 on 2017 Silverado and 2018 Equinox. Okay. There's a bonus cash template that's compatible with all discounted sales. Customers must own a 1999 or newer passenger car or light duty truck and trade in their vehicle toward the purchase of an eligible vehicle. So why not reach out to some folks who are in that category? Here's a way to do it. I mentioned this last month, and a few of you and I have worked this at your dealerships. So when you go into CSSR, instead of going to My Results to get to Playbook, what I'm advocating is click on that Review Database Counts. What this does, it gets you into your DMS, and it's going to include those loyal GM customers who service at your dealership and have bought from you in the past. It's also going to include owners of other manufactured vehicles who service or perhaps did a trade with you, something like that. So click on that Review Database Counts. Then you'll get to this. The folks on my project, they call this the magic funnel. But in any case, when you get to this point, click on the Choose Segment Criteria. Then scroll down when you get to the next page, and you can pick vehicle makes and models. As you can see to the left, you click on makes. In this case, we'll click on all. Last month it was non-GM owners, but in this case we'll maintain all vehicles, and then to the right click on 99 and newer. This will probably give you a very large number, so there is an additional filter. You go to the top of the page and you go to Service Opportunities VIN-based loyalty score. You can click on high, medium, or low, and this is even true of folks of competitive brands. Okay, so let's just, for the sake of this exercise, go high and medium. What you might do initially is just hit all three, then go over here and click on calculate. In this case, this dealer right here, they had 24,164, and this filtered count narrowed it down to 63. I did one yesterday over the phone with somebody, and we did the same exercise and wound up with 1,200 names. Just, it's going to vary based on dealership. Once you do that, once you get to a number you're happy with, you can export it, and that'll pull it into an Excel spreadsheet. And as we say, voila, you have a manageable campaign that's small and targeted. Now, what I'm suggesting is, in this case, you have a lot of calling to do, a lot of emailing, a lot of texting, etc. But why not do this, even if it's 1,000 names? Why not do this and put together a really well-crafted email blast with a compelling message, perhaps a video? There's some great videos of both the Equinox, the 18 Equinox, and the 17 Silverado that you could embed into that email. You could also sort and filter that list. You can look at F-150 owners. You can look at Honda CR-V owners. The list goes on. But it is something to play with, and I know a couple of BDC managers that I talked with since yesterday are planning to, they have the staffing. They plan to dedicate a person to this for a couple of days just to get the party started and give it a shot. Who knows, you might get a few appointments out of it. Okay, real quick, some thoughts on campaign development. Now, I'm going to stop here for a second and just, at the risk of getting on my soapbox, I realize how busy it is in a dealership, and I know you're juggling a lot of balls and priorities, but I'm really trying to get the message out to all 72 dealers in our zone that, you have to work, obviously, the day-to-day stuff. And this is sales and service. those inbound leads, the walk-in traffic, etc., obviously are a very high priority. Also, when GM provides data on the GM manifest list, we have to work those sensibly in an organized fashion. What I'm advocating here again is you taking the initiative to build your campaigns on your own, based on what's going on, and then reaching out to those customers. I would ask that we, think about getting more concise in our management of that. We pick three. If you pick three campaigns today, and let's say the first one is on the 20% and you get 120 names, and then you pick another campaign to go after Equinox owners, potential Equinox 2018 Equinox owners, and then the third one you come up with something for the Silverado. And the first one again has 125 names. The second one has 83 names, and the third one has 212 names. I'd really like to see you get in the habit of tracking that. Initially, say, okay, wait, we're targeting 212 potential Silverado owners. And then at the end of each day, just set up a spreadsheet, simply number of customers, then number of appointments scheduled, number of appointment shows and sales, and track each of those campaigns. Do a summary daily, do a summary weekly, and then at the end of the month, as we wrap up, do an end of month summary to validate, how successful you are or how we struggled and what we might be able to do better. So let's just look. This is the outbound campaign planning model that my company uses. It looks very academic. I realize that. It's very cyclical, as you can see. What's the outcome? What are you going to use for a tool? In other words, equity mining, playbook, service smarts, whatever it is. What's the segment? Who are you going to target? What's the messaging you're going to use? What's the channel? How are you going to reach out to the customer? Phone, email, DSA, etc. How frequently? And then, of course, measure the results. I think when BDC managers ask me about setting goals, and I think this is from Proactive, actually, one of the GM approved BDC training companies. An initial goal is good. If you have 6 sales consultants, the BDC should be putting out minimum 6 appointments per day. 1 appointment per sales consultant per day is what they're looking at. And then, of course, if you really want to get long-term, get real robust and, power things up, 3 to 1 is a really good long-term goal. Something at the baseline, if you will, to think about. Okay, so I was in a dealer a couple of weeks ago and showed the person this. It was a fairly new BDC manager. So we put this in this cycle into everyday language, if you will. So I said, attend this WebEx here. So those of you on board, great, good having you. I appreciate it. Good start. And again, it's being taped and we're going to send it out to everybody. And then get familiar with the monthly incentives and consider the 3 suggested strategies. Add more as you see fit and can handle. I just say leave no stone unturned. Again, if these strategies don't work for you, create your own. I'm just trying to, kind of jumpstart things to get the party started. Then build your campaigns and make sure that they're clean, organized, and prioritized. Very catchy. I'm ex-military and we love our acronyms, and there is a copyright on that, as you can see to the right. So please, be careful if you try to reuse this. You have to go through the individual who copyrighted it. Big trouble looms if you don't. Just kidding. Develop specific messages for each campaign. Be prepared. Understand that in a few minutes, I'm going to show you some great messaging that was provided to us by the region. Plan the channels. What are you using? Phone calls are obviously critical. They're the foundation, but what else are you doing? eStriker and eBlast through your CRM, emails. How individually and collectively are you using those? Again, the DSA app. I've got some BDCs that are using those. If nothing else, to send out their e-business card in a blast again or individually. Some of you have text messaging programs that are working. Pardon me, working quite well. Social media obviously is good. Just it's Facebook. We got all those kinds of things that can help out. Plan the frequency of your contacts. Just don't do them randomly. Have a plan as you break it out. And then, as I mentioned earlier, again, please track the work you're doing. And it's a great conversation to have at the end of the month to verify, what's the plan. We don't abandon this. If it's not working, let's just try to do things better or differently, if you will. Okay, so speaking of word tracks, so yesterday, and I know the DSAs also probably sent some information out on this. I sent this to all 72 dealers in the zone. The names I have. If you're on this call and you didn't receive it, let me know. Shoot me an email. Let me know today. I'll write your name down. But it's really good stuff. It's the October 17, 2017 word tracks. It also includes related information that's designed to help you, our BDCs, effectively reach out to targeted customers this month. They're suggested scripts, so obviously feel free to adapt to your needs. Let's look at a few excerpts from what we sent out to you guys. There's an overview of what the deals are. They put it out there. They're just again a sampling. The fast start it began on the 3rd. It goes through to the 16th. It's 20% off what we talked about a few minutes ago. It was 0.72 on that Impala Spark and Sonic, as you can see. Also 750 purchase on those vehicles, etc. You see the deal. And the Flex Cash Reload comes on the 10th of October. Some of the best offers in October. That Equinox obviously is starting to really get some good incentives on it. The Traverse, hot item. The Cruise, the Malibu, the Silverado, gives you some great information right there. Then what they did was this came from the region and they provided word tracks, something to think about when you do get through to that customer and you have that one-on-one conversation. So there's some good suggestions for you right there to work through. Additionally, they provided some competitive comparisons. When we're not advocating that BDCs become product knowledge experts, but we do want you well prepared in case you run into an objection and you're able to look down at this quickly and maybe tell somebody why the Equinox is superior to the Ford Escape or the Honda CR-V, etc. And in Facebook the other day, we had a very short but pretty cool discussion about, what objections are you facing when you're making calls and how do you handle them. So this should hopefully help you with that. Another example of a word track, Silverado, most dependable, again with some tracking there to help you out. And again, competitive comparisons. And there's a bunch more in the document that we sent to you. A few quick public service announcements. This is a little appetizer. The first iPhone was released over 10 years ago, June 29th, 2007. Now, I was working in SFE at the time, and we were so hell-bent and passionate about responding to email and internet leads because we were failing, quite frankly. And we did that. And I think collectively in the auto industry and probably all retail industries, we increased the response time, we increased the rate, and we were probably generating pretty good floor traffic based on our response to those leads. So how did things change for us since the iPhone was released? Mobile shopping activity has increased phone calls to dealerships. Year over year, if you look at the bottom, there's been a 12.3% increase in phone calls to dealerships, and we anticipate that getting even higher. 54% of auto searches happen on a mobile device. 90% of mobile users conducted a dealer-related action, and the ratio of phone calls to emails is now 4-to-1. So the question is, how effective are your processes within your dealership when someone calls in? So they Google you on their iPhone, then they click that little phone icon, and then they get a ring into your dealership. How does it go from there? And I would encourage you to check that. I've done it with a few of you. A really good exercise is to Google your dealership up and then just make a list of the various numbers that are out there. As you know, there's a bunch. There's your website, there's the Google number, there's cargurus.com, there's edmunds.com, yada, yada, yada. I've done this with 12 to 15 dealerships, and in every case, we found a bad number. We found that we were put on hold for an inordinate amount of time. We weren't, it wasn't very polite, if you will, the tone, etc. So we're just advocating that not to abandon emails and internet leads, but as I have a saying, a funny thing happened on the way to digital. We forgot about the phones. Let's go back to those manifests that were working. You get those 73 names, the BDCs vigilantly calling. Then one of them gets a curiosity when they hear about 20%, and they decide to call the dealership, and then they get abandoned at the phone initially, get put on hold with a recording. That's sinful if that happens. So if you haven't already attended, I'd encourage you to please consider attending the Baltimore Fix to Phones workshops. There's one on Tuesday, October 17th, another one on Wednesday, the 18th. I personally will be there both days, and I'm pretty sure our GM reps will be there too for one or two of the days. The morning session is designed for leadership, dealer operators, general managers, BDC managers, sales managers, service managers, etc. The afternoon session is designed for sales consultants, business development agents, or reps. You can folks on the service side, if you have a service BDC, even service advisors, if you can let them get away for half a day. But all you have to do is go to www.gmskillsworkshops.com. Please enroll. It's worth your while. I attended the one up in Jersey and helped with it. And this one here, a lot of great tools, a lot of resources. But I think you're going to start to get a report. In fact, later this month, and it shows there's a new metric called call fail rate. So we want to obviously keep that low. I'm doing monthly training now. We started last month. I did Playbook 101. I'm going to try to target mid-month, maybe that third Friday of the month. I tried 10 a.m., got decent participation. So the next one, and I'll send out a invitation today. So the Zone 4114 mid-month BDC training. We're going to talk about Dealer Web Manifest, how to effectively manage Dealer Web Manifest. It's going to be on Friday, October 20th at 1 p.m. And again, invitation will be going out to all dealerships in the zone. And welcome the feedback on other topics that you'd like for future sessions. So what's going on in Dealer Web Manifest? Just wanted to just point out some things that are happening out there. The service folks asked me to emphasize the Takata Repair $25 customer offer. We're trying to get customers in on that airbag issue with Takata, and there's now a $25 incentive. Check with your DMA if you have questions on that, but we're really trying to push that hard and get that cleaned up. The Service BDC hot list out there, please work that. Great tool. It updated on the 21st. It's due to update again in a couple more days. Every 2 weeks it refreshes. Again, that's folks with open recalls, unused free maintenance, oil life less than 20%, declined services, and now it even shows that they're eligible for the OnStar 3 on Us. Pretty good stuff. These two here, the GMF and Ally opportunities, I think they've been sitting out there since the first. Obviously, we have to work those hard. Lease pull ahead just came out. I think I noticed it yesterday. It might have been sooner, but obviously that's gold. We got to work that hard. There's a lease loyalty opportunity out there too. Please download those and then work them. I'll do my best to keep you posted. I mentioned the service hot list. Make sure we work that sales BDC hot list too. I know there's a lot of names on that, but it's kind of an insurance policy, I guess, is the way to look at it. The stores that have found it valuable, what they do is download it, then they clean it up. There's often well over 1,000 names. They sort it. It gives you a priority, and they just go back through and make sure they didn't miss any names. It's a pretty good BDC activity. Probably take a day or two, and you'll be surprised. You could probably get a few appointments out of that. I'd ask you to join our Facebook page, Philadelphia Area Automotive Business Development Professionals. Right now we have, I think, over 80 members, and I think there's 40 plus dealerships. My goal is to get all or most of Zone 4114 in there to join, and we're starting to share some pretty good information. It's just a great network to check in, vent, share some humor, and we can send information back and forth. If you're already a member and you run into a good article, please post it, and we'll try to make it as valuable for you as we can. This was addressed on the Zone call yesterday. Truck Legends, just another nice way, in my opinion, to contact. So you go to ChevyTruckLegends.com. If you have customers that own older vehicles, there's a lot of cool things out there. I think gifts, etc. I would just say from a BDC standpoint, might be, as you see on the bottom left there, great way to maintain non-intrusive contact with your local truck owners and pull them out a playbook, whether they bought new, certified, or used. Just send them some contact saying, want to let you know about this Truck Legends opportunity. You should get in there and see what it has to offer for you. And I am going to unmute everybody. I think everybody's unmuted. Thanks, man, for your time. Thanks for all you do. Anybody got questions? Any questions at all? For the GM reps at Truck Legends, what did I'm not sure I gave that dude justice. John and George, if you're still here. Is there anything else to add to that Truck Legends piece? Okay, everybody's good. Everybody's happy. All right. Well, I really appreciate your time. If you're on this and you are not getting emails from me, please let me know. Okay, shoot me an email. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. That's a little chat message there. But this is, like I say, been recorded. For those of you who got on late, we walked through how to access Playbook very briefly. We looked at 3 Playbook strategies, another out of the book strategy. So please make sure you review. I'll send this video out to everybody, hopefully later today. One more time. Anybody, any questions? Everybody's good? All right. Well, thank you again for joining. I appreciate it. And again, appreciate all you do. Ashley, got it. I will send that to you, Ashley. Absolutely. Got that. Okay. Let's see, I might be missing some chat stuff. Okay. Very good. Well, thanks again. Everybody have a great day. And as we say in Brooklyn, New York, you all come back now. You hear? Have a great day.